Hey, what's up YouTube? Scavenger here, and we're back on day 5 and 6 of our 100 player COVID series. So, just a heads up, this audio is recorded in post, and for me, it's been about 2 months since I last recorded the last video for this, so if I sound a little off track, it's because it's been a long time since I've even looked at this footage. So, when we left off, we were dealing with Spain, and we just came up with a plan with England to take them out. England was going to help us, and we claim all the rewards, saying we did all the work. However, as that plan was starting to come into action, Algeria decided it would be a great idea to attack us, and we can see that here. He's engaged us with a few submarines and has a few cruisers in the region. However, he's forgotten the destroyer portion. Because we have other subs out there as well, we are currently tracking his convoys and any units that were spotted to get intel. And at this point, we're only a few hours away from day change, so we have redeployed our spies to Algeria to make sure we know what he's up to. In this situation here, what we ideally want to do is we want to kill that sub which is blocking us in, then we want to group up our own subs and get them out of there. Our subs are playing screen at the moment to stop his subs from getting to our destroyer, while our destroyer is trying to kill that sub as fast as it can. We're also sending artillery into range to help bomb out the ships, but at this point our prospects are not good. Unless we can destroy those submarines, we have no way of successfully engaging and destroying the enemy cruisers. But if we can get through that one sub, we are good to go. If we move a little to the west now, you can see that we have broken through with the help of England into Spain's territory. So we're finally broken that 2-point defense, and we are now in a position where we can get in and gut Spain from the inside. So unluckily for him, the help from Algeria has come a little too late, and we should be able to do the majority of the damage we need before it gets to that point. We're still producing heaps of troops, and they're currently moving down south, which is great. Spain will also be producing our troops, so I've already captured one of his industrial complexes, so he's already going to be at a massive disadvantage. As you can see now, as that enemy convoy comes into range, you'll get an idea of what it actually is. And we can see as it appears that it's an additional Algerian cruiser moving in to join the fight. There we go, there it is. Now what this means for us is we need to really get through that enemy submarine even faster. We need to destroy it with the next few rounds of combat, or else when we try to retreat and save our destroyers and submarines, they're going to get hammered. Fortunately for us, we do have Germany's naval bombers out there to offer us support and scout, so we know and have the full picture of what's happening there. We just need to resolve the battle as fast as we can. At this point, we don't want to deploy the naval bombers in a direct strike role, as this will wear down their durability. Considering we don't really plan on winning this engagement, there's no point taking any unnecessary casualties. Additionally, my interceptor with a bit more range is out scouting in behind, looking for enemy troops and making sure that there's nothing following in. This sort of attack here looks like the sort of attack you'd see to clear out an area before sending in troops. So at this point, we are concerned that there may be an Algerian group of convoys with troops on them heading towards that city. So with that said, our troops and our artillery are not only moving in to help fire on the ships, but are also moving in as well to help garrison the city in the event it is raided. Fortunately for us, if he does send convoys in at this point, we will deploy our naval bombers in a direct strike role to help deal extra damage. So just before we jump ahead, we're just going to have one more look at Spain. As you can see, Spain is now deploying his last tactical bombers in the last attempt to try weaken us. Unluckily for him, at this point he doesn't have many interceptors in support, and our few interceptors can patrol over his targets to make sure his attacks are unsuccessful. And we can see here that combat is about to resolve itself, and we can see that the light tank is kind of losing, to be honest. Normally you would expect this sort of combat to win, however the infantry just has too much strength and is one level higher. So be interested to see how that resolves, and we'll come back to that in an hour's time when we jump forwards and we have a look at what happens at day 6. So we're back now an hour later on day 6, and as you can see that naval battle has resolved itself and our artillery is now in position to fire. It's fired a shot and we're now going to move it closer to the city. However, we're not going to move it all the way in, as I'm worried those cruisers are going to come back and try bomb anything out that garrisons the city. We can also see that our scouting has revealed the location of enemy convoys that are heading towards our territory, I guess. And at this point in time, we can see that Germany has rallied a few more naval bombers in defense, and he's sending a few more down as well. At this point though, we still do have that destroyer and that submarine within the city. We haven't sent them out, as I'm worried the cruisers will try targeting at this point. Once the cruisers get far away, we'll make a break for it. But there is still a sub in there that's keeping us pinned in, so once we destroy that sub, we can try to get out. The aim of the game at this point is to destroy those convoys with our naval bombers, and then we're pretty much safe. Down here as well, you can see that Matt, Saudi Arabia, has engaged some Algerian troops on our behalf to finish them off. Now, you can't see it at the moment, we'll get to later on, but Matt is actually just attacked Egypt in the Middle East, so we'll come back to that later. As you can see though, we have been able to kill that infantry that was attacking the light tanks, and we've also dealt a lot of damage to the tactical bomber, and this is now on its last few rounds. We can also see that armored car we deployed earlier to raid has successfully made it through to Madrid and is now raiding. Like I said before, we can see that Matt, Saudi Arabia, has successfully attacked the Egyptian player. Now, he's also got support from Syria on this, so I suspect it will be a very quick and easy operation. Syria at the moment is providing a lot of the naval support, while Matt is grouping up his units to send them across into the mainland. If we have a look as well, we can see that Yugoslavia has done a lot of damage. However, some of that gains have been starting to be undone by Greece, who is now taking some of that territory back. Regardless, Yugoslavia is out of the fight at this point. We can also see as well that Germany is starting to redeploy. Now that he's saved my ass and Italy's ass, he's starting to deploy so he can start focusing on the likes of Poland, Sweden, Finland, and actually making some of his own territorial gains. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. We can also see that the first powerhouse of the game is starting to emerge, and we can see the Ukraine there. Eliminator, he's doing awesome and is absolutely murdering it. Iraq, Torpedo, is also doing very well and is starting to push towards Asia and is at the very edge of India. He's been having a very lengthy battle with Pakistan. However, I believe that he's resolved that peacefully in a deal that works for both parties. Or maybe that hasn't happened yet. Maybe he's still fighting Pakistan. I can't remember. Regardless, we can see down in New Zealand that New Zealand is back to one island. In South America, we can also see that Venezuela is making some awesome progress as well. However, it'll be interesting to see what happens here, especially as the coalitions in the area rise and fall. There's still a lot to be decided in South America, so whether or not Venezuela will make it through is yet to be seen. So if we have a look now in Central America, we can see that the Caribbean is on a bit of a warpath and has actually made some very good progress in attacking South Mexico. Now, it does appear that he is now retreating, and it looks like he's going to be concentrating more of his effort in South America. Well, the south of North America, if that makes sense, in South USA/Florida, where he seems to be doing really, really well. And if we see, he's actually pushed really far up and has pushed pretty far inland and appears to be fighting Kentucky, and by the looks of it, he's about to capture Kentucky's capital, and if he's able to do this, this will give him a massive advantage. We can see that Kentucky is basing a lot of aircraft out of there, so he'll destroy a runway, and although those patrolling aircraft will be able to divert somewhere else, the 1 or 2 planes that are on the ground will be destroyed. Moving up north as well, we can see that there's some fighting going on up there. However, without the ground map, you can't really make that out. Northwest USA is also sending some troops down south, and these appear just to be retreating from the battles up north as they are not having a good time. This gives the Caribbean a very good opportunity to really make the most of the fact most of America is focused up north to really deal some good damage to Kentucky. We can also see where a lot of the other troops are retreating out to sea. I don't usually recommend this. However, if they think they're done and they reckon coming back later is their best shot, then so be it. Lastly, before we end, let's just have a look at what's happening back over in our territory. Nothing much has changed since we last covered it, because it was only like a couple of minutes ago. But we can see that we're still out there patrolling. Those subs are still engaging those convoys, and those naval bombers are still heading out to scout out the area and watch for subs. Hopefully we can destroy the Algerian sub pretty soon. As you can see, I'm switching my sub to return fire so it can attack the sub, and although it will deal more damage to my destroyer, it will help resolve the battle quicker. So that's what we're doing there. As you'll see, although my destroyer was able to deal a lot of damage, it only took the sub down to about 5%, and my destroyer lost 7% of health. So I suspect that battle will be resolved within the next round of combat. Lastly, before we finish off, you can see that I'm grouping troops just outside the city in case our naval bombers aren't able to deal with those convoys. However, our scouting has revealed that those convoys are unescorted, so they should be some pretty easy kills. Additionally, we are sending some troops back up north, and we're redistributing our line. Spain still has some troops in that fortification in the mountains, so we need to make sure that even though we are moving back to protect that city. We don't leave our other points defenseless, or else Spain can exploit those still. So we're just redistributing our defense while continuing to raid down south and take out Spain's capabilities to attack. That tactical bomber is still alive, so we also have to make sure that our interceptors are out there patrolling and making sure it's not dealing too much damage. At this point, he will be trying to get as much out of that tactical bomber as he can, as it's one of his last units. Apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.